Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackford Book Club and the 8th volume of my Liverpool Football Club, the Retro Series. And I originally wrote this article as an ode for a genius by the name of Ray Kennedy. So it was, 41 years ago in September, that a crowd of 35,269 packed into Anfield for the Reds' third league fixture of the 1981-1982 Football League Division 1 season, and surprisingly their first league win of the season after an opening day defeat of Wolverhampton Wanderers and a draw at home with Middlesbrough. It would be getting ahead of ourselves at this point to state what a quixotic and strange season this would be come May 1982 and 59 football matches later, but first up we have Arsenal, and in their traditionally pleasing change colours of yellow shirts and blue shorts. With Northern Ireland legend Pat Jennings in goal, three of an established and all-star defensive line in David O'Leary, Willie Young and Kenny Sansom, behind Brian Talbot and Graham Ricks in the centre of midfield, supplying a front attacking twosome of Alan Sunderland and a youthful Brian McDermott, this would be an Arsenal team that would finish the season in 5th place, 16 points behind the eventual league champions, and who would rue a damaging 8 league losses away from their Highbury home. For the home team Liverpool, it was a case of in with the old and in with the new, as the established backbone of the team that won the European Cup in Paris just 4 months prior still remained in place, but were now aided and abetted by record signing Mark Lawrenson. Craig "Skippy" Johnston was substitute, and he watched on from the bench as Zimbabwean Bruce Grobbelaar was making his first tentative steps as the Reds' goalkeeping custodian, having replaced the legendary Ray Clements. The Reds team continued to be captained by Liverpudlian Phil Thompson alongside Alan Hansen in the centre of defence, a staggering all-time midfield comprised of local lads Terry McDermott and Sammy Lee, alongside Graham Souness and ex-Arsenal youngster and genius Ray Kennedy, and they supplied the attacking front two of Kenny Dalglish and David Johnson. On a beautifully bright and sunny Saturday afternoon, the game and result could easily be summed up as a 2-0 win for the Liverpool Reds, with late goals in each half from Terry McDermott and David Johnson, but that doesn't come anywhere near a full and truthful summation. It was a win, and a much needed win, but more than the little against the run of play, and Johnson's 89th minute goal flattered both Liverpool and the overall scoreline. The Reds certainly made the early running with a brilliant interchange between Dalglish, Souness and McDermott, set up a fierce drive from 25 yards out from Sammy Lee that brushed the outside of Pat Jennings' far post. Soon after, Dalglish beat 2 Arsenal defenders with ease before passing to strike partner David Johnson. His layoff found the cultured and beautifully left foot of Ray Kennedy, who screwed his shot narrowly wide. These early half chances were squandered and should have proved costly when, the Liverpool defence ragged and out of shape on the halfway line, they were breached by an Alan Sunderland through ball to his strike partner, Brian McDermott. Through on goal and with just Bruce Grobbelaar to beat to give Arsenal an early lead, he did indeed beat the dive of the Zimbabwean international, but he screwed his shot narrowly wide and passed the Cop-End goal. Minutes later, Arsenal could and should have scored again. This time John Devine found himself in the Liverpool penalty area, and his goal-bound shot hit his own player, Peter Nicholas, and tamely dribbled past the far post for a goal kick. But Arsenal were now on top and threatening to score the opening goal of the game. With time now running out on the first half, the game was influenced yet again by the left foot of Ray Kennedy, as he curled a beautiful through ball into space on the Liverpool left wing. New signing Mark Lawrenson crossed for substitute Craig Johnston, on for an injured Graham Souness, and as the ground erupted for a certain goal, Skippy had in fact buried his shot into the side netting on the outside of the goal, but a goal was coming, and when it came on the stroke of half-time, it was a scruffy, if much needed goal indeed. A patient build-up cycled the ball between Dalglish, Lawrenson and Kennedy, before Sammy Lee's cross into the penalty area was only half cleared by Arsenal. Terry McDermott's scuffed, goal-bound effort went through a crowd of players before nestling into the far corner of the Arsenal net and just out of the despairing reach of goalkeeper Pat Jennings. Seconds later, the players trooped from the field of play with the Reds of Liverpool 1-0 up and only just deserving of their slender lead. The second half was notable for the energy of Liverpool substitute Craig Johnston and that of another substitute, Arsenal's 19-year-old future club star, Paul Davis. First up, Johnston kept a ragged corner alive with a sublime overhead kick that saw Ray Kennedy heading tamely over the bar before Davis won a corner out of nothing. The short corner found its way back to Brian Talbot, whose cross evaded everyone except Brian McDermott at the far post, and his crisp header forced a brilliant flying save from Bruce Grobbelaar. Without it, McDermott's header would have found the top corner for an Arsenal equaliser, and mere minutes later we saw another flying acrobatic save, but this time from the fingertips of Arsenal's Pat Jennings. A hobbling Sammy Lee, there were no further substitutes back in 1981, and Kenny Dalglish set up a rasping drive from Terry McDermott that forced a brilliant fingertip save from the legendary Northern Ireland goalkeeper. With time running out and Arsenal pushing forward for an equaliser, a long hopeful punt upfield from Phil Neal found the still hobbling Sammy Lee, whose immediate pass inside found Dalglish, with only one defender and Jennings to beat. Instead, he squared a simple pass inside to his strike partner David Johnson, and he smashed the decisive second goal into an almost empty net, and the game was up. This 2-0 win for the Reds would be symptomatic of the coming season, as they unconvincingly hung around the top of the league until two defeats at the end of October and December against the two Manchester clubs of City and United left the Reds in 12th place in the English First Division. The Reds would also lose heavily in Tokyo against Brazilian side Flamengo for the World Club Championship in December. With 32 games in all competitions left at the end of 1981, Liverpool would win a staggering 26 of these to win the League Championship by 4 points from Ipswich Town and defeat Tottenham Hotspur 3-1 at Wembley Stadium to win the 1982 League Cup final. 3 draws and 3 defeats would round up the 32 total games from Boxing Day 1981 onward, with 2 of those notable defeats being at the hands of Brighton and Hove Albion at Anfield and an away defeat at CSKA Sofia that would end their reign as European Cup holders. 11 days after securing the League Championship and re-entry into the European Cup the following season, England's Aston Villa would win the 1982 European Cup on a famous night in Rotterdam against massive favourites Bayern Munich, and Liverpool's game at home to Aston Villa in this 1981-1982 season will be the focus of my next retrospective match report, and this is coming soon! Go on, buy that book, it's beautiful. It's the best Liverpool book you're never going to read, but go on, buy it. It's nearly Christmas. Anyway, as I've just said, Volume 9 of my Liverpool Football Club, the Retro series, will feature a very exciting 0-0 home draw with Aston Villa, and it's coming soon. Anyway, I hope all is well with you in your corner of the world, and I leave you in peace and in solidarity. And I thank you sincerely for watching. Peace, everyone.